G'day, this video takes a look at the southern section of the Mount Terrible track, which runs between the intersection with Ryan Spur and Moonlight Spur tracks and runs all the way up to the summit of Mount Terrible. Essentially, this track follows a ridgeline, and look, it's what I would regard as an easy four-wheel drive track in these present conditions, so there was no major obstacles really to get around. Gets a little bit rocky in sections at the tops of some of the peaks, but overall the track conditions are excellent. It's obviously very well maintained. The Mount Terrible track follows essentially a firebreak along this ridge line and down the other side of Mount Terrible, and there are two parts to the firebreak. There's the Mount Terrible track, but there's also the firebreak track, which is on the right hand side there. Now it's well signposted. As you can see, there's signposts indicating which side is the Mount Terrible track. And I should point out that if you're caught in the firebreak zone, you are legally deemed to be driving off-road. Not saying to not go in there, but if you do, just assume that there is a risk that you could get caught and fined. There's been a fair bit of fuel reduction burning going on within this area. Generally, as a rule, fire breaks are very well maintained and they do remove a fair bit of the vegetation, so the tracks are generally in really good condition as they need emergency access along those lines. So this is one little section of the track where the ridgeline narrows up quite significantly, and you can see it comes right up on top of the ridgeline. There's only one track here, and you're just going across a narrow section, which is pretty cool. Really nice views. So you can see by the track slopes that there's nothing particularly steep along this track. 15-16 degrees is probably some of the more steeper slopes. Very gentle undulating track, so it's a great track for beginners, and you can get in here by numerous ways. We will profile map-like track in another video, which is one way of coming up from the Big River Road. It's also a really easy track to do. So it's a really nice loop if you're not super confident about four-wheel driving, to come up here and come through Mount Terrible. So here's the intersection with Donald track. That's a seasonally closed track, and there's only one little section here of rock, which is probably the most tricky bit of the whole track. You just crawl over it. It's not particularly difficult. Here we are on the final climb up onto Mount Terrible. And here's the helipad, so we're not too far from the summit. Pretty cool campsite out on the helipad, and here we are at the hut, which is a fantastic place to come and stay, or come up for a barbecue, or just go for a sightsee. Awesome place. Views are just superlative. Okay, that's the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Catch you out there. It takes about an hour to complete this section of the Mount Terrible track, and I would regard it as an easy four-wheel drive track.